Waverly Hills Sanatorium. The name alone evokes chills, sending shivers down the spine of anyone who hears it. It stands as a grim reminder of a terrifying past, a past filled with pain and suffering. Perched high on a windswept hill overlooking Louisville, Kentucky, it is a place where suffering and sorrow seep from the very walls, echoing through the corridors. This is no ordinary haunted house. It's a place where the air feels thick with history and despair. Waverly Hills is a monument to despair, a place where thousands breathed their last, succumbing to the relentless grip of tuberculosis. It's no wonder that this decaying giant is considered one of the most haunted places in America. The stories of ghostly apparitions and unexplained phenomena are countless. I've walked through countless haunted places, but Waverly Hills hits different. The atmosphere is charged with an energy that is both unsettling and intriguing. The energy there is raw, palpable. It's as if the walls themselves are whispering the secrets of the past. It's like stepping into a nightmare that you can't wake up from. Every corner, every shadow seems to hold a story of its own. You can feel the weight of the suffering, the desperation, and the countless lost souls who still linger within its walls. Their presence is almost tangible. This isn't just a building. It's a living, breathing entity that holds the memories of those who once walked its halls. This is a vessel of tormented energy, a beacon to the paranormal world. A place where the past and present collide, creating an atmosphere that is both haunting and fascinating. In the early 1900s, tuberculosis, or the White Plague as it was known, ravaged the nation. Hospitals overflowed, and the death toll soared. It was during this time of desperation that Waverly Hills Sanatorium was born. Opened in 1910, the sanatorium initially housed around 50 patients. It was a place of hope, a last resort for those battling the deadly disease. But the respite was short-lived. The plague was relentless, and the sanatorium quickly became overwhelmed. By the 1920s, the once hopeful haven had transformed into a crowded, chaotic institution. The air, once thought to be a cure, now carried the coughs of the dying. The weight of death grew heavier with each passing day. Desperate times called for desperate measures. Doctors at Waverly Hills resorted to experimental and often brutal treatments in a desperate attempt to combat the disease. Patients endured agonizing procedures. Surgical procedures were often performed without anesthesia. Lungs were collapsed to rest them, leaving patients gasping for air. Sunlight and fresh air were the only known remedies, so patients were often wheeled onto open-air balconies, exposed to the elements. Some found solace in the fresh air, while others succumbed to their fate. The treatments were as much a torture as they were a cure. The line between hope and despair blurred with each passing day. Section 4. The Chute of Shadows. The most chilling reminder of Waverly Hills' dark past is the death tunnel. This tunnel, often referred to as the body chute, is a stark reminder of the sanatorium's grim history. The most chilling reminder of Waverly Hills' dark past is the death tunnel. This tunnel, often referred to as the body chute, is a stark reminder of the sanatorium's grim history. This 500-foot-long concrete passage served a grim purpose. It was constructed to transport the deceased from from the hospital to the bottom of the hill, away from the eyes of the living. It was a conduit for the dead. The tunnel allowed for the discreet removal of bodies, ensuring that the other patients were not constantly reminded of the death surrounding them. Bodies were discreetly transported through the tunnel to the bottom of the hill, shielding other patients from the constant reminder of death. This method was intended to maintain morale among the patients and staff. It was a journey into darkness, both literally and figuratively. The tunnel's oppressive atmosphere and its purpose made it a place of dread. The tunnel became a symbol of despair. It represented the hopelessness felt by many who were treated at Waverly Hills, a place where death was a frequent visitor. Whispers tell of shadows moving through the tunnel long after it was sealed, residual energy from the countless souls who took their final journey through its depths. These stories add to the eerie reputation of the tunnel. It remains a chilling testament to the sanatorium's tragic history. The death tunnel is a haunting reminder of the many lives lost and the sorrow that permeated Waverly Hills. Section 5. Silence falls upon the wards. By the 1950s, new antibiotics emerged, offering a beacon of hope in the fight against tuberculosis. The sanatorium, once a place of suffering and death, slowly emptied. The echoes of coughs faded into silence. The once bustling halls fell into disrepair. In 1961, Waverly Hills Sanatorium closed its doors, leaving behind a legacy of sorrow and unanswered questions. But while the living departed, many believe the spirits of Waverly Hills never left. Section 6. Whispers in the Ruins. Today, Waverly Hills stands as a decaying shell, a haunting reminder of a forgotten time. Once a bustling sanatorium, it now lies in eerie silence, its walls bearing witness to countless untold stories. But within its crumbling walls, stories whisper. These whispers are not just figments of imagination. They are echoes of the past, reverberating through the corridors. It is a hotbed of paranormal activity, attracting those brave enough to confront its haunted halls. Paranormal investigators, thrill seekers, and curious visitors all come in search of the unknown. People have reported seeing apparitions, shadowy figures lurking in doorways, children playing in the hallways. These sightings are often accompanied by a sudden drop in temperature, sending chills down the spine. Disembodied voices, whispers of pain and suffering echo through the empty wards. These voices seem to tell tales of the patients who once lived and died here, their spirits unable to find peace. And then there are the footsteps, heavy and deliberate, as if someone or something is still making their rounds. These footsteps often lead to nowhere, vanishing as mysteriously as they appeared. One of the most well-known stories is that of Timmy, a young boy who roamed the halls. Timmy's presence is often felt by those who bring toys, which mysteriously move on their own. Some say he still plays, his laughter echoing through the empty corridors. This laughter, though innocent, carries an eerie undertone, reminding visitors of the building's tragic past. Then there's the story of room 502. This room has a dark history that continues to captivate and terrify those who hear it. It's said that a pregnant nurse hanged herself there, driven to despair by an unwanted pregnancy. Her tragic end has left a permanent mark on the room, making it one of the most haunted spots in Waverly Hills. Her spirit, filled with anguish and regret, is said to haunt the room to this day. Visitors often report feeling an overwhelming sense of sadness and despair when they enter, as if the nurse's sorrow is still palpable.